Hi everyone, it's Sister Folk, and I am going to be providing you with a video tonight that is going to include some tips that I've seen that are kind of helpful, hopefully, for the assignment that you're working on. I have looked over a lot of the submissions and they're looking good, but I'm noticing some trends in both of the sections. Okay, so what this video is going to address some of the trends that I'm seeing that are going to make a lot of students lose points. So if you want to avoid missing a lot of points, check this out. Hopefully it will be worth your time. So the first thing I want to focus on is grading, so you understand how that will work. So for this assignment, the minimum expectations is worth 70% of your grade. What are the minimum expectations? Those are the bullet points that are listed right here. So including everything here will get you a 70%, okay? Above and beyond that, the other 30% of your grade, and okay, so this includes 5 points for the design, for the blog, okay? And then the other 30% of your grade will be determined by the execution of your design. So that is down here. The design expectations include integration of the principles of design. What are those? Those are the principles that we learned about in the non-designer's design book: proximity, contrast, alignment, etc. All right, so if you want to make sure you're hitting everything you need to do, I would suggest that you get out your design book, flip through the chapters, look at the headings, and ask yourself, in my design, where do I have repetition? In my design, where do I have contrast with my typography? That will help make sure that your grade is elevated from a 70% to 100%. All right. Additionally, there is 5 points of your final project submission that is for your blog post. Okay. So at the end of this course, the blog posts really add up. So make sure that you are doing these things here for the blog post as well. Okay, so hopefully that answers your questions when we get to actual grading of the assignment. One thing I'm noticing that people are overlooking is that the images must be taken by you, okay? No professional shots. And I do know how to do a Google image search, so unfortunately, I would probably be able to figure out if you had not taken the image yourself. So please make sure you've done that. I don't want to dock you down for that. That's part of this assignment, is showing me you understand how to use your photography skills that we focused on in the last section. Another thing is I want to talk for 1 second briefly about fonts. Fonts are extremely powerful. Look at this heading here and how it really elevates the whole page to have this awesome contrast. I'm seeing on the submissions a lot of fonts that I have seen before, and that's okay. Some typefaces are timeless, but others are just kind of past their prime. So one thing I would suggest you do is go to dafont.com and select two, maybe one here from your basic list, sans serif or serif. These are really, really good. You can even look at the fixed width if you want to do something that is a sans serif but has the same amount of leading between it. Okay, or you could grab maybe one subtly used and not overdone script or other type of typeface. Don't go crazy if you're venturing into these other typefaces, okay? Like, for example, if you use calligraphy, something like this would look good and would be legible, but there are typefaces like this that I would probably recommend not using, especially if you are using them over and over again. It's going to be difficult to read. Okay, this one also looks cool, but it's difficult to read. So say you find a script that you really like and you want to use it. Let's look maybe at handwritten ones. Say that you want to use this font for your heading and also for your subheadings. How do you download it? You come over here, you're going to click download. You're going to save the file. It's going to save it to your computer. You're going to open it up. And here is going to be OpenType font file. All you have to do is double click it and click install. Now you're going to have to reopen your design program for it to load in here. But once it loads in here, you will have this font, and then you can use it to add some variety. So where I'm not seeing the same fonts over and over again that have been typefaces that have been around for 20 or 30 years and are not really eye-catching anymore. Okay, another thing I want to talk about briefly is strokes. Let me try to find a good example. Anytime you insert a shape, if you could do me a favor and take the stroke off of it, it will help your design look 1,000,000 times better. Possible exception is if you have a bumped out kind of something that you're highlighting here, you could possibly have a stroke. But on any other shape, it's really dated to have a stroke line with your shape colors. So take those strokes off. That's really going to help your shape stand out and look a lot better. Okay, next are the margins. We need to make sure that we have a 0.5 inch space between the end of your words and the end of the page. Okay, see how this is a little bit too close to that edge. We need a little bit more white space there. Another thing is we want to make sure in the paragraph option we hyphens. Okay, so let me show you all how to do that at one time. So I don't have to show it over and over again when I'm going through. Okay, it's really simple. This is a partially finished design for a tutorial I was doing earlier. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come in here to typeface. You are going to deselect hyphen. That's going to take the hyphens away, and it's going to really help your designs look better. Another thing you can do that's something that might add some a cool look to your design. Okay, see how those hyphens went away? Is you can justify. And this will help make nice and tidy columns out of what could look really like really ragged edges, right? So here, that's under paragraph. It's these lines, justify, okay? If you want to do it to everything, do Control A, deselect hyphenate, and select justify, okay? You have to pay particular attention to wrapping. See how this looks odd? So you might need to go in there and do something different on this paragraph. But if you have just a nice chunk, it can really help your design look a little bit more clean, okay? Something else is the importance of white space. Please don't try to fit a 1,000 word article on 3 pages, okay? It is better to have a place where your eye can rest instead of try to fit it all on. Another thing is make sure to have space between your images and your columns. See how these words are right up against the edge? We need it. Probably the rule is usually at least 2 letters away from the edge. All right, so that is really going to help this look a lot more legible. Okay, so those are some tips and tricks that will apply to most of the designs I've been seeing. I hope that will help you kind of just get a jump start. And then, of course, in a few minutes, I'm going to be going through. And if you opted into the instructor critique, I will be individually reviewing your submissions, which will be really, really exciting. It for now.